bars are really about the people.
This is why it's great, and this is why we believe in it.
Share the bear.
2 bears, 1 more! Let's go! Woo!
Hey, I know. I'm drinking water. Hey, welcome to 2 Bears, 1 Bar. I'm Tony Sputo.
I'm Andy Prinzi.
And what do we normally say? We are brought to you by Four Hands and Una Vida. Or Una Vida and Four Hands.
And Scofflaw Times.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
We're always on Scofflaw Times. Yeah, they don't have to talk about it. They don't pay us anything.
Pay Oliver.
Yeah. They pay Oliver.
See, somebody's getting paid around here. With us today, this is always the most awkward part of it's always the intro. With us today is Miss Meredith Barry.
Hi, how are you? It's past my bedtime.
Yes, we are. Yeah, thanks for. This is a very late shooting podcast. I don't know if people know that. Like this goes till usually 3 a.m. So, thank you for making us part of your day / morning.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, local legend beyond St. Louis and into Chicago. She's going to get into it with us about a lot of bar programs. You're into making your own spirits and cordials and whatnot. So lot to dive into there. But that's who we have this week.
I'm here.
That's right.
All right.
What do you got for current events?
So current events is we always like to start off the show with a little bit of what might be happening either around town or around the industry, and we bring up a topic and we kind of openly riff about it. Seemed kind of silly not to bring up what happened this past week with Natasha Baharami from the Gin Room and Natasha's Cafe. She was introduced into the Gin Hall of Fame, which is not an American thing; that's an international big deal. To actually,
she's amazing.
Yes, who might be the one ambassador for gin as a category in this country, let alone known internationally. I've heard stories of her knocking on random doors in France, and when they found out she was the gin girl, they were allowed to come and see the distillery just because they know the brand.
That's amazing.
So, in bringing that up, I'm sure we all have had our experiences with Natasha. Meredith, you want to start us off with kind of your experience with Natasha and why that's kind of a really cool deal for St. Louis?
Yeah, I was in Chicago at the time, and I had, no clue I'd never been to St. Louis. I think I've been to St. Louis once because I got my dog in Cuba, Missouri, and I went to Pops. That was my first experience there.
She took you to Pops?
No, I wish. No, but I met her in Chicago. Somebody else took me to Pops. So I met her in Chicago at a bar called Volume 39. It's with the Kimpton Hotel Group, and I was bartending there, and she, just sat at my bar immediately, has this presence about her. And she said, I'm the gin girl, and gave me her card, and we had an amazing conversation, and something that I don't even remember exactly what the conversation was about. I'm sure the gin. I'm sure that's what we were talking about. I'm sure I served her a martini. And then, then fast forward, a few years later, and I'm here in St. Louis, and I don't see her, but I see her mother. And somebody brings me to the bar, and I meet her mother, and then it's crazy. She's like, "Oh, you know Natasha?" I was like, "I think everybody knows Natasha now." Now that I'm understanding this realm of St. Louis and what she means to everybody here, it was incredible to have those two worlds collide for me, and I didn't even know it. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
she knows her shit. That's all I can say.
No question. In a world saturated by bourbon and whiskey, and when it comes to having nerdy knowledge about something, those are maybe wine and then bourbon. Nobody really digs into what gin is, and I think she was one of the people that was nice enough to help me really understand the category. I think I spent several years thinking that if you didn't distill your gin from grain, then you were, if you're repurposing with the neutral grain, I was like, oh, well, that's lazy. Turns out it's frowned upon in the international gin community to be distilling from your own grain. It's an art to itself that it's respected that way, and I didn't know that about that.
Yeah.
What about you, Tony?
My stories with Natasha?
Yeah. Make that a whole new segment.
I don't think I'm confident enough in this platform yet to say anything.
Well, I just think her like she's very giving, right? Like she's
no,
very
she's-
welcoming and giving, and has an amazing like.
Yeah. Also, I think I met her. I've known her probably longer than anyone else here, and she's a very electric person. She's super. She's a giant magnet for it all, you know. And I think I've seen the gin room and Natasha grow throughout the decades, and it's, you know, it's awesome what she's become and what she's done with that small restaurant, you know, to turn it into like a landmark like that. So.
And then she has Gin World, which I think she'd be remiss if we didn't bring up. Gin World,
Which I've never been to.
I have officially, like, I'm sure if she ever hears this, like, you've never been, Andy, you don't know. And she's right, I've never been. But I've heard about it several times, but it's always on the day where I got to work. And,
it's insane.
but it's, I mean, probably one of the only, if it's not the only, gin educational market of that size in the country. I mean, it's not Tales of the Cocktail or Portland Cocktail Week big, but it's pretty big in 5 or 6 cities in the country, and I can't imagine what that's like to organize. And everybody talks about, like, you guys both have brought up, like, her energy. And, like, to keep it clear, like, somebody that big, if you've not met her, it's not like this weird stoic or serious energy. It is goofball maintained. Like, it's never too big or too low, and she's very goofy about it, very approachable, and just full of knowledge. And I think when you get to that level of knowledge, maybe you're just that comfortable talking about it. You don't have to show off at all.
Well, I think
She's full of excitement.
Yeah, well, I think also it's just like her dedication. Like, she wants, whenever she sees something that she wants to happen, she makes it happen. And more often than not, like, you know, her personality, and I mean, she's.
Well, her mother, like, you brought that up. Like, I think a lot of the reason that Natasha's the way she is because of her mother. And her mother, like, first thing and probably the most often heard thing about her is her days, you know, hanging out at Studio 54, and that was real for her.
No way.
Oh, no, she would dance. She was a nurse, and she would, like, work these odd hours, but when she was young, she was at Studio 54 to this day. Like, huge, for as much as her daughter is into gin, gigantic bourbon drinker. Like,
wow.
I mean, could go on this podcast and go toe to toe with us, and no problem.
Yeah,
You should get her on.
Again, like, so if you're, you know, Sasha, the apple did not fall far from the tree. Like, she's a, her mother's a superstar in her own right.
Oh yeah, her. I mean, just meeting her initially. I mean, she didn't even know me, and she immediately welcomed me like I was one of her children in the bar. It was incredible. Yeah.
Well, give it up for Natasha.
Yeah, give it up for Natasha. I mean, she's got gin, man. She's got so much gin. It doesn't even, like, everything that's on that wall, she has more in, like, a secret cubby.
And has,
like,
so there's even, like,
secret room
about chartreuse, because chartreuse, like, I mean, I don't think there's a human in this room that it doesn't just bring super personal. Chartreuse is a bartender's love. I don't know.
Yeah, chartreuse is my love and passion, of course.
Yeah, liquor's so good they named a color after it.
All you want, but I mean, chartreuse is the love. She was able to buy, and I do forget the style of it. It's beyond VEP. It's something else. But one of her big purchases, it's something that she said she was going to open, like,
she has it on tap.
COVID, she was going to. Yeah, she keeps chartreuse.
She has chartreuse on tap. Who has chartreuse on tap? Natasha
does. I say so. I mean, it's, you know, all these say she's big into Amari. So, like, you know, yes, gin, but I mean,
there's a lot of similarities there because it's botanicals.
Yeah.
You know, she has a love for botanicals and layering of flavors. And that's, Amari is very similar to that and a lot of these digestivos.
And she would teach me, like, the difference between what botanicals were considered in a gin versus what were binders. So although still botanicals, they had this other thing. Again, yeah, it taught me, like, a ton about this category. I was like, I didn't know there was all this subtlety to it.
I fell in love with gin. It was one of the spirits that I think I mean, of course, I loved Irish whiskey very early on because that's what you do when you're a bartender, a young bartender, you know, you know, just drink Jameson from the bottle.
Never.
And then I grew up and I started drinking Tully, you know.
Oh, nice. Tully's good.
It's not here.
Yeah, I know, right? I really wish that I could say that I grew up and I started drinking Middleton Rare, but I can't afford that.
Just run into Redbreast 18. It's
that's
started
solid.
only up from there.
Yeah, but no, I fell in love with gin.
To bring it all together, Pops ruined Jameson for me because
Pops ruined Jameson for you.
whatever they have there, it's not really Jameson. They just have like a machine.
Oh, they have the
They plug something in and then it pops out whatever their Jameson is. But I think it's just like the
That 69.
the weird. I forget what the brand's called. I used to know the brand, but it's just another weird green bottle with bad Irish whiskey in it.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, I mean, I think everyone in this room, like even before Jameson, like as far as you talk bartender shots, like I remember coming in, like when I was coming in, it was the back end of the Benedictine shot into, for some weird reason, everybody was into Grand Marnier all the time.
Yeah,
And I
Grandma.
was off that one.
Those are the old those are the old '90s bartenders.
I was going to say, like slowly, like it's weird, like Fernet or Malort now. But
I drank a lot of
There's a very
Jaeger.
long line to this.
I drank a shit ton of Jaeger. All the
Rumpelmans.
all the old hardcore guys, hardcore punk rock guys, always Grand Marnier nonstop.
I don't get it.
Yeah, everybody loves Grandma.
Remember Brass Balls of the Shot?
That wasn't my.
delicious.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, hey, listen,
shit out of
it is
Grandma.
good.
I
It's
love
cognac based,
Nastiness of a Grand Marnier.
Yeah.
I love me some cognac, so.
Oh yeah, I mean cognac. Even here, like now that we're filming in Bull Rush, cognac is a big thing that we serve here, and it's all
Good. Let's bring out a
profiles, and
bottle.
it's, we got it. I'm gonna pay Rob for it, I promise. Did Oliver bring cigars for this? Is this change? We need to do this podcast.
it.
Is now
This has
happening in
become-
a hot tub with cognac and cigars.
This has just become an Armagnac and cigar podcast.
I have cigars in
two
my car.
pairs,
don't worry.
one hot tub. Let's
I would
go.
not be mad about that at all.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess get right into our guest here.
Well, I actually I got
no,
something else
Tony's
too.
got
Sorry.
something.
Yeah. So anyway, this is going to be a little bit sobering, but it'll be fine. We'll get over it.
Amazing.
Shit.
I haven't put this on any platform. I haven't talked about it or anything like that. But last month, my stepmother passed away. The reason I felt like it was appropriate is because everyone who's here today, this seems like some appropriate time to give her some homage. So she had 2 kids of her own. I had her much later in life as a mother figure, and I think I definitely got her at some of the wisest times of her life, and I just appreciate her. So just wanted to say cheers to Donna Spoon.
No, it's absolutely.
Yeah,
Cheers, baby.
yeah.
Pour one out for her.
But also, my parents used to party pretty hard. And
Which is not how she passed.
no.
Okay.
Well, COPD, so she was smoking a lot.
That happens. Looking at you, Meredith.
I know.
But like
I'm trying to quit.
Got the American spirits. It's good.
we would throw a bunch of parties at the house.
Yeah, it's a little bit healthier, right?
And we would throw a bunch of parties at the house, and whenever the end of the night would happen, everybody would go home and everything like that. Me and Donna would just stay up and talk, and like we would talk about where I was at personally, like where my head was at, what I want to do, where she was at, where she saw me at, and things like that. And it was probably some of the best moments of my adolescence was just hanging out, drinking, staying up till like 3 or 4 in the morning, hanging out with my stepmom, just talking about bullshit.
No,
So
I love that story. That's very
so
endearing. Also, just going back just a tiny bit, your adolescence drinking with your stepmother. Define
no, I didn't drink.
adolescence. Oh,
I was straight edge till I was 23.
okay. No, I heard drinking with my stepmom in adolescence, and I
didn't get to drink with her too much later on.
not
especially
okay,
because
just making sure.
I started late.
Because you have those parents that are like, rather you drink at the house.
When did you start drinking?
My 23rd birthday,
Wow.
smashed a bottle of Alizé.
Seriously?
Yeah, why would I make that up?
Get new sponsors.
Yeah, man.
Brought to you by Alizé.
Where did you?
Where?
Yeah,
I went to
where
a
were
grocery
you?
store in the middle of Toledo, Ohio, and just got a bottle of Alizé and go, today's the day.
You
When
just
did you start
decided
drinking?
today was the day.
Yeah. But then, like, after that, I think it was like drink Crown a lot, drink Captain, like just whatever would fit in my back pocket. I wasn't like.
Were
but
you
then
stealing it?
No. I'm saying like so I could walk around.
Like a little bottle.
Oh,
So I
okay.
could walk around with a
It's
pint
like
bottle
whatever can fit
and
in my
not buy
pocket.
bar, or not buy shit from bars because
It's expensive.
they seemed expensive to me at the time.
Yeah.
When you don't drink, it's weird to you, you know?
Were you working in a bar yet at 23?
Yeah. I was working
Okay.
at Creepy Crawl. So then I just drank everything that was a Creepy Crawl, and then I just learned how to breathe when you're submerged in Old Crow. So, and then ever since then, Old Crow has just been my thing.
That's your thing.
Yeah, fuck Jameson, but Old Crow all day.
I don't think I ever had the experience of Old Crow.
It's fantastic.
Until I came here to St. Louis. I've tried it.
It's thin, but the flavor's pretty righteous, I think.
Here's what F's me up about it. And I don't know the history of Old Crow, so maybe you can drop a little knowledge on
I
that.
remember the Bellows.
But it is.
I remember that.
The distiller's
Remember
name
Bellows?
That shit was rough.
So bad. That's not real. I think Old Crow at least maybe has.
James Crow.
Yeah, James Crow and Oscar Pepper.
So like his name is Jim Crow, and I have an issue with that
Because his name?
Yeah.
Like it's awfully.
Yeah,
that's crazy
sure.
to me. Like that's anyway. I drunkenly put that together about 6 months ago. I was like, wait a minute,
Just now.
and I was like, and again, it's like I didn't know if there was history to that. Like he's like that's a little too on the nose for me. A little bit. You got a crow on there like Dumbo. Like I don't know. It threw me
it's
off
a little
bit.
weird.
It
Yeah,
threw me
yeah.
off a little bit. I know that just like Rebel Yell wasn't. It's not trying to be that whiskey, although I think it actually has real roots in that. But I'm not.
Rebel Yell.
They have done a good job trying to turn that brand around. They have tried to turn that brand
Right.
Cool stuff.
Maybe do a little bit more work.
Let Dustin dig out
Wolverine
that
does.
hole.
That's why I'm like,
We're not digging out that hole.
This is cool on that for a moment.
Have you seen Dustin's mustache?
I
Come
love
on.
this. Dude, I knew this dude. Again, we've gone into him before. That's why he's going to be on the show. He's just
a
such
good guy.
He's one of the greater personalities, I think, in our industry, especially in this
Absolutely.
area. So
It'll be interesting.
it's been a growth.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So let's get into Meredith Barry. I think she bartends somewhere.
No.
She has, as her hat so shinily advertises, come to us from Chicago. And now she's in St. Louis.
This is for Phil. This hat's for Phil,
Is it
who
for
was
Phil?
just on.
Yes.
He said he was a Cubs fan. He's also from Chicago, so it's like, come
We
on.
didn't razz him
Yeah.
as hard because it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
But don't
Grandma
worry.
was a Cubs fan, man. You can't fuck
Well,
with Cubs fans.
The very next
Yeah.
episode, I beat up Wilson over it, so I don't.
Listen, I like an underdog.
I don't remember that one.
I let him know. He called it our baseball stadium somewhere. I go, okay, it's Bush, and
He said
we
baseball
can- and
stadium
I was like,
somewhere.
we can discuss what's
Isn't
happened.
he from St. Louis?
He was pushing hockey over baseball, so a little bit of a
Okay.
different conversation.
No, that's a true argument.
But I'm like, look, Bush Stadium. How many times has Scott Trade Center, Enterprise Center, whatever, they changed their name? Bush Stadium didn't change,
Didn't change.
for better or worse. It's
Look
never
at
changed its
that.
name, other than Sportsman Park, but that was way long.
Do you know why Busch Stadium's called Busch Stadium? Have you ever heard the story?
Shrubbery.
Why, Tony?
So, do you know what year Busch Stadium was? Thanks. So, while I was looking up the year that Busch Stadium was erected, the thing was they wanted it to be Budweiser Stadium, and I guess Augustus Busch was really pushing for it to be Budweiser Stadium in the city of St. Louis when the city had some tact.
1966.
There we go. Decided that they didn't want to name their stadium after a beer, so they fought it. And they said, look, we'll give you Busch Stadium. Do you know what year Busch Beer came out? It's 1967. You don't have to look it up. I can tell you. But that's why.
So it's a marketing campaign.
They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. Named the stadium Busch Stadium and then came out with Busch Beer, I think, within the 9 months.
I mean,
That's
I
super
love
smart.
some forehands.
That's me.
Man,
And
Bush,
personally,
Bush 16-ounce tall boy's my jam.
I do love a Bush.
I do love it. It's the best Belgian beer you can get in town.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I wore a hat today because I worked. And also I need a haircut because I feel like Ted Cruz and I have the same haircut right now, and it just cannot be. It
can be ironic.
Did you get your haircut?
Ironic. I had it before him, okay?
Oh.
He commandeered my shit.
How ironic. No,
Yeah, right. Do you see my little
that's convenient. I know.
you can't, I mean, this is for radio, but I've got that tail going on, shaved sides.
Yeah, you're being
and
recorded.
my
like
quaff.
a
filmed.
modern day
You see
Rogue
that?
from X-Men.
This is,
I get it.
Yeah, I got he doesn't have that.
He's got to earn that.
Did you get that in Cancun?
What?
Did you get that in Cancun?
What? Fuck you.
Just hanging out with her daughters.
Yeah,
dude, lighten
right. I
up.
wish I was going to
Lighten
Cancun.
up.
Have a couple braids.
Just braid my hair. I really look like fucking Ted. Fuck that guy.
Man, this
Seriously.
reference is going to be so outdated by the time.
Didn't Trump
I know.
make fun of his wife or
Like,
we're
something
barely
too? Like,
hanging on right
that,
now.
that dude just gets beat up. I don't even know how he gets elected. Like
I
he gets
don't know.
beat up all the time, but Texas loves him. I don't know why.
There's a lot of Texas.
There's a
You know, I've been to Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Galveston. I don't know. I may stay away. I don't. It's fun. It's got Don Pablo.
Texas is
I don't know.
great.
It's okay.
Love Texas.
It's okay. I've never been to Austin. Weirdly.
Well, Austin's awesome.
I've never been to Texas. I'm okay.
Yeah, it's like I don't.
I'm all right.
You never been?
Never.
You would be fantastically surprised about
It is
how
hilarious
awesome it
sometimes.
is. It's fucking
I'm
rad.
sure that I would love Austin and some areas.
Like Houston downtown, it's like weird because we saw like nothing but
Austin-
lowriders, and then all of a sudden it's only dudes on horses because it's the stockyards or something. Like so, it's like actual cowboys in the streets.
Yeah. Your idea of Texas is like, it's kind of manogrammed into that.
Well, it's based
box,
on,
but,
you
like,
know, the politics and
Right,
things
right,
that
right.
I've seen
But I mean,
for
even-
sure because I haven't been there.
King of the Hill, Arlen, we get it.
Hey, man, I
No,
do love King of the Hill. Though. That's a great.
It's a great
It's
show.
a great show.
Man, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio's the shit. Like, it's all great. Trust me.
Okay.
Amarillo's a little fucked up, but they know that they're fucked up. It's
They know
nice.
that they're fucked up.
Yeah, all our Amarillo listeners, shout out.
So walk us through a little bit of Meredith's career. I know the main points. Meredith did the Violet Hour in Chicago, then she came to St. Louis. But tell us Meredith,
What?
as in depth or not in depth that you
Yeah.
want to get into that. But like,
Who you is.
give the listeners at home, like, who's Meredith Barry?
I mean, when I went to Chicago, I had already been working with my dad. I went to Chicago, I think, to get away from my family. They were living in Greenville, South Carolina at the time. We moved from New York to Charlotte to Greenville. And then I was like, I gotta go. I just gotta get the fuck out of here. Because I'm very gay and I was in the South. So
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I was like, there was no, you know,
There's some pressure to maybe
the
not
first gay bar I went to was like a trailer in the middle of nowhere, like past the trailer park. Like I was driving down and I was thinking to myself, are
the
these
trailer
people taking
beyond
me
the
here to
trailers?
kill me or are we going to a gay bar for real? Like,
just to think that that's how far out you got to go. I think
yeah,
it's a
we
little
went
rough,
past, like
yeah.
we went through, like I just remember woods and a trailer park, and we went past the trailer park, and then there was this singular trailer there, and it was like converted into a bar, and you had to sign in. If you had to be, if you with a guest, like somebody who was an actual member, and you were a guest, you
Like
had
a
to
country club. You had to have like
yeah, and
a
you had
reference.
to you had to
Okay.
sign in. You had to put your number and where you lived.
How long ago was this?
Ooh,
Yeah, because that information
Like
sounds dangerous.
early 2000s?
If you go far
yeah.
enough
I mean, I was 21, and so I'm 37 now. Oh my god! And yeah,
Again,
the gray. That gray is real.
We established this last week. Everybody on our show is 23.
Oh, great.
our
Good,
average,
good,
yeah.
good.
I'm always
So
29.
just a
behind the
couple of
bar.
years ago. Just a couple of years ago. No, but it was some time ago. So things have changed, I'm sure, very much since then. But at the time, I mean, it was for safety. It was for safety.
that's-
Really, it
that's
was for
still
my
pretty
safety.
crazy.
And everybody else is there.
Are you familiar with the Silverleaf here? Have I talked to you about this yet?
No.
So the story that I've heard of it is that in the 80s, there was a gay fireman. And I'm sorry, I don't know.
There was more than one.
No, but
I dated one.
There was a single lone fire.
One gay fireman.
you're upset about James Crow. But you make that fucking lowball joke.
I was just getting the story right from you. There was one.
So there was this fireman who went to hang out with his friends and have a place where he could just be a normal gay man with his friends. And obviously the firehouse isn't it. So he opened up that bar, the Silverleaf, and just like, it's just this little corner bar in the middle of South City, and pretty much just decked it out with a bunch of fireman stuff. But like,
That's awesome.
apparently it was just originally there because it was his bar where he can hang out with his friends and be himself.
Well, that's where a lot of gay bars like started from. I mean,
yeah, and I mean,
all of them were started
now,
because
I don't think
it's a
anyone
safe
who goes there
place.
even realizes it's a gay bar, like because it's just a neighborhood bar that's been around since the '80s. So,
well, I mean, I love that. That's
it just is what it is, and I don't think people understand where it came from. But apparently, that's the story that I've heard. So if I'm wrong, feel free to reach out to us and tell me I'm wrong.
Interesting. Silverleaf.
It kind of made it cooler to me. Than, you know, when I started going there. Because originally I just went there because the girl I was dating would go there with her friends. And it was like this little hip dive bar that only like the right hipsters knew about. So that's where we went.
Is it like an everybody bar? You see like all walks of life.
Oh, man, it's great. It's like old ladies just smoking cigarettes. And
it's great.
You know.
I gotta go.
But then like you'll see like some kids that just left the Grove like go there because there was one guy who knows, you know. Yeah.
Oh, that no. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So like,
where is Silverleaf?
It's right by Jeffrey Mole's house.
I don't even know. I don't know.
It's like off of Aletha. It's off of Aletha and Kings Highway.
So just I
just want everyone to find Jeffrey.
Pee Wee Herman and a rat fucking had a love child. All right.
Who are we fucking talking about?
Don't matter. Anyway, North Carolina.
Come on and raise up.
Yeah. So I was in Rock Hill, South Carolina at the time, but it's up right on the border of Charlotte. You know? It's
Charlotte Hornets.
Charlotte Hornets, yeah. I lived in Charlotte for a little bit and went to Greenville, South Carolina, worked at a country club with my dad. Learned how to, bartend with mini bottles.
Nice,
so
like the little
at the time, all the bars had mini bottles. All the bars. I think it was only.
It was a style thing or like a law thing?
It was a legal thing.
Yeah.
It was illegal. Like in South Carolina, you could only have mini bottles.
Is that a Commonwealth, by the way? Is that a Commonwealth at all? I don't remember.
No.
I know because some Commonwealths you have to there are like really weird like stores you have to buy them at, like ABC stores or state-run liquor stores.
Yeah, this had it was the southern the southern way where Sundays are no liquor on Sundays
except for in tiny bottles.
Yeah, well they thought that could control the booze.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, it worked out where I put a lot of mini bottles in my pocket. Is how it worked out.
You got tiny hands, and you got tiny bottles.
That's a lot of that's a lot of inventory to try and count. So I doubt that it was very easy to be like, well,
round up.
Yeah, grab you some, get on that golf cart, and go hang out after hours with Chef. Sorry, Dad. He's my weed dealer too.
Yeah,
take that out.
Shocking,
take that out.
Shocking.
Take that out.
We don't. There's no taking that out. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I was just I was working that island oasis at the pool.
Dude,
making those pina coladas and daiquiris for the ladies who lunch at the. I felt very John Hughes though, because I was like serving these like rich kids at a pool and had like my green polo and khakis.
Pool scenes, like pop collars at the pool.
Oh, they were all like
they're
that.
13, yeah.
Yeah, and I was all like, oh, there's the lifeguard.
What's up with the
lifeguard? I'm trying to be cool. Let me fold these towels. Come on,
fold a mean towel.
Yeah. Can I help out? Can I get the the leaves out of the pool for you?
How long did you do that? And then you were like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, as soon as I graduated high school, I left for Rock Hill.
Oh, so you were stealing booze like when you were in high school?
Yeah, I was.
I guess have the timeline on that. Okay.
But I also when I was in college, I went back and worked for them as well. So like at the summers, I would go and work for my dad and learn that. I actually got to work the cigar room. There was a bartender named Dean he was like this older guy, and he I'm sure he wasn't older. He was older when his name's Dean, and amazing. He's the one who said, Meredith, because I was so nervous working the cigar room. I was just cocktail serving, and it was just him and me. He was bartending, and I was cocktail serving, and I would go into the cigar room and give the guys their drinks. And they were super nice, because they were like, oh, you're Ed's daughter, because he was the GM. of the country club.
Oh, okay.
So they were super nice to me. But he said, Meredith, I was so nervous. And he goes, if you can remember the face to the drink, you don't even have to remember the name, just the drink and the face. That's all you need.
How many bartenders
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
That say that bad with faces or bad with names, but great with faces? Like, I know the person that came up to my bar. I know what they order. I know what they went through. I know if they had a date last time or not.
Yeah, know everything about
Can't tell you their name to save my life. Like,
yeah.
But I think that's a lot of bars. That's crazy. Like that you specifically were taught that, let alone just came into it. All right.
And I never forgot it. And I love it to this day. I mean, I remember always just seeing somebody walk into my bar and immediately having their drink and putting it right in front of them.
Like a wizard.
How special does that make you feel, though? I mean,
I don't know. I'm always on the other side.
I mean, on the other side,
it feels like in their eyes.
When somebody does that for me, I'm like, whoa. Like,
have you ever gotten anybody that was like, oh, I quit drinking last month?
You're like,
no, but I did have a regular tell me, hey, can I get a shot of Rumplemans because I got to go to my AA meeting.
Yeah. Moral dilemma.
I was like, oh my God.
Hey, man.
He tips well. Okay.
Yeah.
If you sold him a gun and you shot someone in the face.
It was a woman. She drank like 2 bottles of white wine and then said, can I have a Rumplemans?
I need a glass of Moscato and a Rumplemans. I've got a
I was like, I was like in Chicago, super young, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?
I accidentally, I guess, I don't know. I guess probably shouldn't admit to certain things in the world, but sure. Okay, so hypothetically, like somebody buying somebody underage cigarettes, like that's a bad feeling after, I would imagine. Not that I've never bought
done that before.
Cigarettes as a young man. Oh. I used to think like, man, I don't want to be the square that doesn't help this kid out. And then I immediately was like, hypothetically, that would be something that made me feel really guilty. And I should never do that again. So
I try to play by the rules, and then I'm always like suddenly like given a swing where it's like, oh, you thought you were playing by the rules, but somebody just fucked it up for you. And I'm like, oh shit.
It's just funny how I think I want to be a rebel, and then immediately I'm like, no, that rule's there for I'm not a rule follower necessarily, but
so
I am. I'm a fucking nerd. Like I'm such a rule follower.
Even when you make your rules?
My own rules?
Yeah. You follow the rules, but they're your own.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. True. Maybe.
This is an empowering
I'm a kid of the
podcast,
90s. A lot of my rules and morals are from Disney shows. So
every time I've ever been approached.
Ironically, not a bad place to get them. Like, interesting history, but yeah. Like
also recovering Catholic.
I think
so
anybody our age
massive.
got raised by movies and TV a lot. Like,
I got a lot of good morals.
The dad from Alf. I mean, what a nurturing guy. Love my dad.
My dad's advice was always, this is my dad. He was like, there's 2 people in the world. There's the caught and the not caught. Don't get caught. I'm like, that's my dad. That was his life advice.
You were from Camden County, New Jersey.
No, fuck you. I'm not from fucking New Jersey. From Long Island. Go fuck yourself.
I know this.
All right. So you ended up in Chicago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was in
somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Trudged to the wrong bathroom. Next thing I know.
I graduated college. I got a theater degree, so I was that theater
that's
kid.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, my parents thought the same thing.
I mean, it's a moneymaker for sure.
No.
Did you do any?
It's a moneymaker for sure.
I mean, it sounds like.
Did you do any acting or anything like that? Did you do any?
I did, and in college I did a lot of acting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Are you on TV at all? Do you have anything? Do you have any TV credits or anything?
No, I have like some small weird like college films. Not those, but other ones.
Like weird college films?
Like weird.
You have an IMDb
college
credit?
I have. No, I don't.
Oh,
no. No, I just have.
Did you do a horror movie?
I wish.
You never did a horror movie?
I always wanted to do one of those.
I just feel like college films, like.
Yeah, like everybody does a horror film. Yeah. No, we didn't. We always talked about it, but no, I just did some silly like college party films. Like we're at a college party, and like now we're talking about love or something like that.
Yeah, just.
It was just really
bad comedies or like
really bad
tales?
comedies.
Drama.
Comedy drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, really silly
dramedies.
Is it fun?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed theater more than I did film.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was a high. It
Performing in front of people.
Performing in front of people, you're just getting the audience is there, and you're getting everything from
Yeah,
them.
well, there's that thing that's
and I'll just keep going if I get it.
Yeah, there's that thing like as someone who plays music, like you have those shows where everything, like, even though it's your own music, like you have good shows and bad shows, and like you have those shows where everything hits right, and like you're singing on pitch all the right times, you're doing all the right moves, like the way I picked up and threw that guy looked really cool or whatever, and like, but like whenever everything hits, it's the best feeling in the world. And I knew a guy who's one of my favorite musicians in the world, but he would take heroin and liquid acid together every day. But like he was also a musician. I toured with him quite a bit, and he was like talking to me about it because at the time I was like, all that sounds fucking crazy to me. And he was like, you know that rush you get like when everything's right and everything's awesome. And I mean, it's true. Like you feel not even superhuman. You feel godly. Like you feel like.
Yeah, there's nothing
It's like the whole world is like rushing through your body, but you're controlling it at the same time.
Yeah, and exactly. Everything's rushing at you, but for some reason, you're controlling the entire space and the entire room.
He was like, that's what that feels like every day.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm on heroin and liquid acid. It's like,
I have a hard time.
So that's why. Yeah, okay.
Not just thinking about doing that.
I'm not saying that I didn't find myself intoxicated on a stage numerous times. I actually found a love for bourbon before I went on stage. I was like, I just need a hot toddy for my throat.
Shot, 2 shots?
I had the teacher at the time, and I love him so much, and I won't say his name, but he bought me a bottle of Bullet bourbon, which I will not drink Bullet anymore.
Here.
Because fuck them. And I didn't know at the time, but I was very excited because
nobody knew back then. By the way,
back then we didn't know, and we didn't know any of that.
There was real representation at the time. That's why it even got big.
I mean,
after the fact.
I'm 21 years old, 22, and I'm drinking Bullet bourbon. I feel like I'm like fancy as hell, you know?
Bullier. As it was ordered one time by a white guy.
Give me some Bullier.
What happened with Bullet? I don't know.
Do you want to take this?
I would say I feel like you should take. He wants to know. Like, I feel like that we should tell. Like,
why
at least
we
a
don't?
Small version
Why we all
of the
don't drink
story.
Bullet bourbon?
Because they're like super homophobic, and yeah.
Well, they have a daughter.
That's my big issue.
They had a daughter whose father of the she was the daughter of the owner, and he was really against her lifestyle. But the same coin, like she's the only reason anybody drank Bullet. She was the one that was the brand ambassador. She's the one that hit the country and made it something. And then you got she's the one that made all these white frat dudes come in who want old fashions with Bulliet rye. And I'm like, it's ridiculous. And then later you find out like all this trouble that she's had with her father in this, and how anti her community as a whole he is. And then even in the switching of ownership, then it was really apparent because they never fired her, but they absolutely did not have a seat for her at the coronation that they, like when they handed over the business or whatever.
Which is unbelievable.
It was very ridiculous, and it handled super poorly considering the work that she did. I know it gets into some financial court and opinionated things, but as far as that, I don't support the brand. I don't understand the community as a whole.
Why support a brand that does something like that so blatantly?
And it's contracted out. It's not. It's not like it's some. Oh well, they just do such a good job. They contract.
No, they contract that out. It's not even.
There's a reason that Four Roses doesn't fuck with it anymore. And it's all. Oh, they used to be Four Roses. Well, it used to be Four Roses. Dan Gardner will tell you.
Right.
So there you go. Sorry. Not sorry.
No.
Not at all.
Also, I mean, Tom Bullitt was allegedly accused of abuse too, in
that as well. Yes, abuse as well.
So he's a pederast and a fucking asshole.
Just a rock star team.
Part of what this podcast is about. We should be telling people like that's the type of inside stuff that we hear about that most people wouldn't really know.
Right.
Like you're not privy to that.
We'll put this in the reel when we ask Diageo for sponsorship.
We will not.
We're just kidding.
This is the third episode we've smashed Diageo. So,
I guess you're
yeah.
Cheers to,
Cheers to-
whatever the hell we just talked about. So you made it to Chicago.
Yeah.
We're getting back there. Somehow, some way.
Yeah, and I was living on a futon. And my friend actually from college moved. Two of my friends
Were
moved
you
to
living
Chicago.
in the city or outside the city?
In the city. We went straight up to the city. I was literally living, I was Irving Park in Ashland. That's where I lived. So I was in Irving Park.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend I know exactly where that is.
It's
but
on the
I know
north
the
side, but it's in the
difference between
city.
Living outside and living in is drastic and like not only in price but entire lifestyle.
Well, you're talking about like it's the same like in St. Louis where you guys have the county and you have the city.
Yeah.
The same thing is in
Is it like
Chicago.
that in Chicago? 'Cause
They call it the suburbs.
I'm not gonna.
It's
Yeah, no,
very
I-
similar.
I prefer the city to the
Just
county.
people are closed in more in Chicago, but it's not that drastically different. You know, less backyards.
Oh yeah.
You get backyards there.
But I mean, like the retail is cooler. Like everybody's just everyone's a little bit more on top of each other. But like, and the public transportation is
Amazing public
Oh, it's awesome.
transportation.
Yeah, train
I mean, I
system
think
is
it's really good.
It's definitely cleaner downtown.
Downtown's very clean, but it wasn't. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories where I had just missed the bad time.
Yeah.
So when I was living in Andersonville, which I moved later on, 2 years into me being in Chicago, I moved to Andersonville, which is a great neighborhood. And it was good at the time, but it wasn't as built up as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Like now it's like the best place to live. There's like 15 coffee shops on one street, like 10 million bars. Like
nice.
you just, I would walk
never
outside
lying.
my door and I was like, bar, coffee shop, bodega, bar, coffee shop, bodega. Like it was the best place to be. And I loved it, but it took some time to like build up. Of course. But I moved there and to Chicago before I moved to Andersonville, which is also a gayborhood. So I moved to like a gay neighborhood, but it was the place where lesbians lived. They called it like the, girl town.
They called it girl town?
There's boys town and then there's girls town. But it was also where they would say like where
would like to
the
have
gays
been,
go to retire.
like,
was
present at the
Andersonville
meeting
because it
where
was a
they
little
decided the name.
sleepier. What?
I wanted to be present at the meeting when they decided the name because there had to be a lot of really good proposals.
I
out
don't know
there.
if anybody-
I don't know. Like it's a whole lesbian community.
What was that HBO lesbian show?
Which one?
I don't know.
There it is. And which one? Game of Thrones. That was the one.
No.
It doesn't matter.
If these walls
Are you
could
talking
talk.
about like
If these walls could talk, Queer as Folk was not lesbian. They did have
I didn't
lesbian
know- again,
characters.
I-
There's
the
the
L
L
word, right?
word.
Was it the L word?
Showtime.
The L word. Okay, that was
That was
a
Showtime,
show.
right?
Yeah, that was really. That was the time where I was in college, and L word was on. It changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, is it? Yeah. I mean, like, is that like you're like? I don't know what it's about, so like, I don't want to call it.
It's just about a
Friends,
bunch of
because,
women.
like, it might be,
I mean,
like,
it started off really good, and then it got
is it
really
melodramatic?
dramatic.
Is it a comedy? Is it
So-
action? Are they lesbian superheroes? No.
No, I'm ready for that.
I don't
I'm ready
understand
for
why
that.
there's that's
Captain
not a joke,
Marvel
really.
is.
Is she?
No, she no.
What
she
I
dates-
like is there's no talk of that.
There's
That's
no talk of it,
okay.
but
Like,
they-
it doesn't matter.
No.
They've been to it.
She's a
They-
superhero. Who cares about her sexual life?
They do get sorry. So
I feel like they've been to it.
now I have to and not to, she's very feminist forward and that's awesome and that's part of her deal. She dates War Machine in the comic books.
Who's War Machine?
So
I don't know a lot.
Don Cheadle
Don Cheadle.
in the movies. That's why if you ever
Oh.
watch Endgame and they're all in the hologram talking to Black Widow, she looks over at Rhodes and says, "Be careful," and she didn't say it to anybody else. And that's a throw to the comics because she dates. I
Oh,
think
she was
I
throwing
think-
shade.
I believe that she has also had girlfriends, but like she
Yeah,
does.
she's-
It's
So she likes the wine, not the label. Okay, cool.
that is yes, that is
Yeah.
which I love the reference. This is amazing. Good show. So yeah, sorry, I'm the comic book nerd in the group, and I was like,
No,
no,
I
know
love
what
it.
I'm
You are. I mean, I think I'm.
It's so funny because I was like, I just saw WandaVision, and I've been like going down that rabbit hole.
How
fucking
good
love
is it?
it.
Catherine Hahn once again,
great.
one of the
Did you
greatest
finish it yet?
actresses.
Yeah, I finished it.
It's good.
I'm
so
2
good.
episodes back. I gotta.
Oh, I don't want to spoil it
I want to
for
trade
you.
somebody my HBO Max for a Disney Plus. So
I
I feel like
can give
all
you-
I
can
have
give
to
you-
do is
I went
ask
Disney
if someone
Plus,
will
man.
do that.
I got you.
But
You're done.
Get the Hulu. Do you like sports? You could do. I don't
I have
do
a
sports,
3-year-old.
but you could do ESPN, Disney Plus.
I'm a big Brooklyn Nets
Hulu.
fan these days. Brought old KD. What a Kyrie Irving. The guy bought George Floyd's family a house.
God damn it. We're
Guy's
so
amazing.
off point.
That's amazing.
No, he is. He like comes in. He's the guy that like LeBron James gave a super hard time to when he first came into the league and said he was like impersonal and you can't play with him. And turns out this guy is one of the best basketball players of all time as long as LeBron James isn't messing with him. LeBron James is great. But like as long as LeBron James is in the room, this guy's great. Like it doesn't. He's around all kinds. He's with Harden and Kevin Durant now. And he's still fine. He gets like, a million assists. And
Wow.
team
You should
great.
have a
Yeah,
conversation with my brother. He's a sports agent in
more of a
LA.
social
I don't know.
aware type. So he misses games and stuff just to go do these like social justice projects and stuff.
That's
He didn't care.
amazing.
He didn't care. Like he really does.
Great.
Anyway, so
Good. He's using his
Continue
powers
on.
for
Yeah,
good.
why should he
He's
care?
he's actually
No, that's why I
a
love
real
him.
superhero.
It's just a basketball
He's
game,
literally
right?
my favorite
Yeah.
player in the NBA right now. Like the guy's awesome to me.
Awesome.
People call him lazy, but I'm like, no, he's got
Why
a little
would they
shit
call
going on.
anybody in the NBA
'Cause
lazy
it's
at
just
all?
like, oh,
Like,
it
this
show-
doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, Harden had like an interesting thing because he was trying to not hang out in Houston, so he actually got a pot belly, like an actual like when he showed up to his first game, his jersey like it looked like a fat kid.
Why? Because he was like
Because
chilling.
he was quitting, he was being bad like with his weight training and stuff, so they'd get rid of him. But he knew his skill level wasn't going to drop, so like he just looked bad. And he like his big thing if he makes a basket or whatever is he eats like I don't know if it's cereal or
Just
soup.
more of them to love,
This is him.
Andy.
But I mean, like I'm gonna judge a guy. I was freaking
Yeah.
pro.
I'm not going to
Anyway.
judge anybody for
You're
You're pro
that.
what? You never talk about yourself. What
Pro
were you?
Harden. Wait, I'm
Oh,
Where are you pro at?
Harden. I'm pro a lot of things. Pro free choice and
I thought you were
Free
saying that you
will
were like a pro.
I'm pro
Bear wrestler at some point or
I was.
something.
Hey, we don't.
You could be a pro bear.
You look like a pro
I-
skater with that hat
you can
on.
Google it. You can Google it. I actually have a professional fighting record in the MMA of 0-1.
Are you
No
serious?
shit.
Swear to God, you can Google it. I fought a guy named Jason Foster in Kansas City. I have an official MMA record of 0-1. No, it's hilarious because, and I'll keep it short. Like I fought
Do you have
the
a
guy.
video?
I
Thanks for,
lasted-
yeah, do you have a video?
I used to, and I bet Garrett listens to this. He
I
can send
need
it
to
to
see
me.
the video.
Garrett Sprague might actually have a video to this, and he lives in LA, but he might have a video because he was in my corner that night.
I really wish
I
that you
lasted
could make
1
it like
minute
a
and
short
37
clip
seconds.
right now to you at that video. Like,
Yeah.
it would be
I was
amazing.
told it was called Bartender's Brawl, and I was told it was a bunch of overweight bartenders fighting each other. I said, yeah. I said, of course I'm into that. That's not
how it works.
So I went in, and it is that for everyone except me who has a high weight. So I had my time in the Marine Corps, and we did
yeah.
MMA. Anyway, it's not like I'm like a functioning fighter here. I've had my experience, and I didn't want to put on the gloves and the helmet. I wanted to fight somebody because I had just gotten out of a breakup, and I was ready to kill someone. Figuratively. So I was ready to fight.
A lot of feelings.
So I get down there to where they're pairing everybody up, and I get this guy named Jason Foster, and he is a wrestling coach for like a local high school, and he does door security at a bar. I'm like, that doesn't count. That's not fair.
He does door security?
He's a high school wrestling coach. Not only that,
Yeah, dude,
this is
you're-
his third year in a row where no one's lasted a minute with the dude. He beat the last guy in like 27 seconds. And so I immediately am like, I'm not going to teach myself how to fight anymore. I'm going to run every day because the biggest thing in fighting is like you lose your breath. You
Endurance.
can't.
It's
You
actually
need some
like-
endurance.
Cardio is
that's
the
what I'm
biggest
saying.
thing.
Like you just
Yeah.
next thing you know, you're dead. So I was like, let's just run, make sure we can breathe during it. And we had to wait like 3 or 4 hours before we fought, and we finally get out there, and I do like this terrible thing. Well, first he does. We come out to like do the glove thing, and he acted like there was something wrong with his gloves. It's like a fighter. I found out later. It's like a fighter thing. Like it's like a head juke. And then I
He's
went
just
out
messing
there.
with your head?
Yeah, because like with me, we go out there and he's like, "Oh wait, I got a glove thing." So like you're all hyped up, but then you're not, and then like it's hard to like get back into that. Like
That's so messed up. Do they do that? Do they
And-
fuck with your head like that?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the whole.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
half
yeah,
of it. I mean, I've learned a lot of lessons in
There's
that
a-
minute
there's a
37
really-
seconds. Anyway, he beats the crap out of me. We get a shot of Rumple. I'm slightly concussed, but it was a good.
Did he knock you out?
He didn't knock me out, and the ref called it before because I was standing and I was good, and I knew I was going to have to do the Rocky III scenario where he's just got to beat the crap out of me for 3 rounds, and then I'd have to maybe get one good shot in. Like, that was the only way it was going to happen. I was like, I'm just going to have to get, because I can take a hit. Like, I can get bruised up all day. I've never been that bruised, and I was in the military. I've broken arms and shit. I've never been that black and green in my life. Like, that dude is so powerful. Like, I just... Again, concussed.
You can
I didn't
laugh.
know
It's
where my
okay to laugh.
I couldn't find my backpack.
I was
couldn't-
just shocked.
No, and I was just like, this was not at all what was advertised. And what you're in, my buddies were like buying VIP tables.
You said you were ready to
I
fight,
was
baby.
ready, and I
You said
did
you were
not-
ready to fight.
My homie did say the next day, he goes, I'll tell you this. He goes, when I saw that dude come out, he goes, you did not blink. He goes, you freaking stayed straight out. He goes, you may have lost. He goes, but you did not blink. I was like, I was mad.
There's an amazing video of Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson's first coach was a hypnotist, and so like, if you don't know a lot about Mike Tyson, you wouldn't believe this statement, but he's actually superiorly disciplined when it comes to fighting. It's just the fact that like the rest, pretty much when that coach
I
died.
watched the HBO movie.
Yeah, when that coach died, that pretty much ruined his life. But he talks about how, like, when he walks to the ring, he, like, would know whether he was going to win or lose based on how the other fighter walked. So, like, he goes in this long thing about, like, he walks to the ring, and as he goes, his fears and all of his, like, all of his inhibitions about fighting somebody and maybe losing and all this stuff, it all disappears. And by the time he hits the ring, he actually says, he goes, "Oh my God." But like, he goes,
Because he says it the way he says it.
but he's like, "I'm a God." And then he's like, and then I just look at the guy and I never stop looking at him. And if he looks away, I know I've won. And that's like the biggest thing. He's like, whenever I notice that they notice me, they have that chance to like keep looking. And when they decide to look down, he's like, "I got this."
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I know we have gotten way off. That's my bad mostly. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
No, it's okay.
Like, you really want to get into Meredith's career here.
It's not that interesting. I love that
Meanwhile-
you think it's interesting.
We can get through it to the most point. So
there's always going to be story time with Uncle
Yeah.
Bears.
yeah. So you picked up some stuff in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I started off at a bar. The guy that I was living on his futon and living on a futon in his dining room. I sat at the bar that he was working at because I was looking for jobs. I needed a job when I first came to Chicago. And Jamie, one of the owners, suddenly started yelling at me, and he said, "Meredith, Corey says you can bartend." And he's a, like English guy, like it's an English-Irish bar. It's the Globe Pub. It's amazing.
Is this the first time you've seen large bottles? Like,
Yeah, I finally saw large bottles.
These seem different.
Wow, what do I do with that?
My hands are so small.
Ooh, I don't just open it and just dunk it in.
Right, it just all goes in. It's the same method. Welcome to the big city.